صلاة الله تعالى على رسول العالمين بعد فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Respected brothers, sisters, listeners, welcome ourselves to this edition of our Halqah, or in this series of the love. And tonight, inshallah, we're having another interesting episode titled Love, the Magnet and the Filings. So by this topic, we intend to unravel some things, one of which is that our love stance. Each person should where he stands with respect to love. And number two, we want to understand coping strategies if you're already in love and you don't know how to navigate. And third objective is to have a roadmap to proceed. Either you're in a particular love that you can't just go back, how do you move on? And the fourth one, of course, is to know preventive or corrective approach to likely existing love saga. By this, I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You're welcome, and may Allah make the outing a blessed one for all of us. Love in the modern times is occupying a lot of headlines in the hearts, in the brain, and in movies, in films, in music. Love is becoming the major subject matter. So by this topic, what exactly do we mean? It is for us to understand that when we say magnets, in ordinary meaning is a material or object that produces a magnetic fluid. That just in brief. Also is invisible. The magnetic field is invisible. Third point is that it is a force that pulls materials like ions or steels. So magnet is a kind of a force on its own, which pulls other materials. In other words, magnet attracts or repels other magnet. That is the meaning of what magnets. When we now say magnet, if somebody is called a magnet, it means the person attracts everything to himself. When we say you are a magnet, it means people are pulled to you. When I say filing is a small particles that's rubbed off by file when smoothing or shaping. Those little things that fall off the filing is that fall off when you are rubbing the object is called a filing. So this topic, when we say magnet, it can be somebody. Two, when we say magnet also, we say it's invisible. It can be love. Love can be the magnet. Human being can be the magnet. The love can be the heart of the human being. Then filing are all that attracted. There are times the attractor can be the magnet. It can change vice versa. I haven't defined the terms. A man at times may be attracted to a woman. So the woman can be the attractor. So the woman becomes the magnet. The man becomes what? The filing, because she's the one attracting the man. In this case now, the woman is the subject, the man is the object. The woman is the magnet, the man is the filing. There are times also there to be symbiotically mutual, that both will just be pulled to each other. In that case, we're having two magnets who are trying to, pull each other. With that one said, also, we realize that mostly women are always the magnet by the natural composition of a woman. She has things that can attract a man to her. Her lips, her balls, her buds, her countenance, and the likes. So men tend to be affected by these. As some, like one reads Every Woman, a book like the men's eye are attracted so easily by things that women have. That's why at times some men can suffer the torture of what a woman possesses. That now informs the wisdom in the Quran, where Allah says that the believer should observe Gadul Basar. Gadul Basar is more than just lowering your eyes. It's a culture and adab that you condition your mind not to just be pulled by those fine, what can attract to a woman. So men at times could become so captured, captivated or glued to a woman that they may not even know what to do again. So coming to the issue of attraction now, if somebody is married, for example, you could be attracted. If you are not married, you could be attracted. If you're a woman, you can attract, you can be attracted. If you're a man, you can attract, and you can only be attracted. Now, if you are married, the attraction in this case could be that you start to make comparison because you have seen another fine, elegant, comely lady. So we can start to compare. Oh, this one has, that can happen to men at times. Then too, some can start to cheat on the woman at home because he has found a new love. And that new love now becomes a magnet. It becomes a filing. Then it becomes a victim. Then some will start to spend so much, not as they spend on the wife at home. In that case now, you can see the power of the magnet. So men can spend millions on unmarried women that they may not even marry also. Then, of course, some could be led into adultery. So all those are when the magnet, in this case, now a woman is attracting a man. It could equally be vice versa. It could be at times that the man will be the magnet. Women will want the man so desperately, she can as well too try to start feeling that the husband at home is not doing well, is not satisfying her, and so many things like that. Maybe he's unmarried. In his own case, he will suffer a lot of things, loss, infatuation, disturbance, and many other things like that. And of course, some could end up in a fornication. So as filing now, when you are as filing, you will become a victim in the sense that you have been pulled and attracted. You now start to suffer. What you suffer becomes what makes you a filing now. What you suffer a lot of things. Maybe sometimes we weep secretly when they are alone. They will be mentally, pensive, that they'll just be bothered so much that they may weep, they may be silent, mute, not talking to anybody, have uncontrolled feeling, fantasy, material, mental zina, go into porn, want to explore things that can affect what they are. These are some of the ways by which the human becomes a filing. Now, we're talking of love in this case as a magnet, or a man or woman as a magnet. There are some questions that we need to ask about love. One is, why is love universal? Because anywhere you go in human environment, you see the subject of love happening across board. Is simply because the issue of sex is like food. It's like an instinct which all over the world we eat. Like thirst, we drink. So what keeps our social life going? One of such is love. And of course, it equally helps procreation. But this love, when you look at a mother and a child, there's a love established. Between brother and sister of the same parent, there's a kind of love, or parents and children. But the same love is not the one you have when you have a boy and a girl falling in love. These are two different loves because the focus is different in the two instances. Now, that's one thing we realize, that love is universal. Secondly, you observe that there's an element of secretiveness in love at times. When, in this case now, romantic love, when a young girl, a young boy they fall in love, for example, and they are not ready for marriage, so to say, they won't want the parents to be aware. He can start a relationship that the parents may not be aware. So the effect of the magnet could be the environment, the school, the college, university, could be such that they are attracted to each other. So we saw this could be seen happening in such environments where there's no censor. So they now, because if they are found, they could be censored. But now there's a liberal environment that they feel they can just explore, and experience what loves look like. So exploration. I want to know how it looks like. I can't a man equally talk to me. I can't equally talk to a girl. Some will just they might have been keeping themselves for some time, being chased, being modest, maybe from religious background, the kind of orientation, the kind of school. They now just feel that, what's happening? I cannot even, I think I can equally make people love me, or I can love somebody. So that can be the intention to proceed. You have seen cases like that, and there was a case of a man just felt that was close around maybe 25, 26 that very time. Just felt that I can too see. He went to the other extreme there. That is number two. Three is that, do animals fall in love too? Researchers have shown that animals show a level of attraction to themselves that keep them together. They want to be together. But there's one thing about the human love. The Quran, Allah tells us that we honor man. So the love we as human beings exhibit is one of animals, goats, dog, cow, chimpanzee, and like that. Our own love is such that it's so special. The way we go about it, the way we fight, we care for it, the way we cry, we weep, and so on and so forth. So in human love is so special that I can't even compare to animal love. Now, do all love lead to sex? No, not all love lead to sex. Even some from inception knows that they are not going for sex. Some from inception, they know they're asking for sex. Some again may start any sex and end up in sex. That's one. It's just for exploration. It's just for like that. They may end up involving in illicit. There are several scenarios about love. For example, a teacher or a lecturer who take advantage of a student under him and have carnal knowledge of the person, is that one love or just sex? Or also a boss in the office who takes advantage of the female staff and have carnal knowledge of her, is that love or something else? Of course, or cleric or clergy, religious leaders too, who take advantage of their position and have carnal knowledge of their female member. Is that love or what? If you now reverse it, do you have lecturers or teachers to take advantage of the student they are teaching? That, of course, will be very rare. It's not that it cannot happen, but it's so slim that you can't just say it's like that of a man doing to a female. So we realize that these days, subject matters of most music, most movies is majorly, they even don't have them without romance. So most movies in the Nollywood, Bollywood, all of them, they make romance a major theme. And that's what keeps those things moving, because society has lacked happens to them. So you see, teens watching the Bollywood, the Nollywood, the Hollywood, the K-drama, and many others because of the romance in them. And when they watch them, they want to find a way of equally experiencing what they have. They've seen romance, they've seen kisses, they've seen hugs, they've seen pecs. So they are oxytocin, the love chemical is equally want to that of course see in the modern movies as people watch it. So when what they watch now goes into their subconscious. So when they are walking the streets, some girls, fine girls moving up and down, that they wouldn't have bothered before because of what they've gathered in their brain, they start to pursue such situation like that. You see boys dating girls and girls dating boys. You can imagine. So as some people students JSS 1, 2 start to have feeling that they are in love with somebody. Even some at that point start to feel that a boy has broken their heart. A GSS 2 girls saying that a boy or a girl has broken her heart and reacting differently. So that one too is something we observe in the drama of love as we see society today. So we can see that the issue of love is such that is happening. But because we are Muslims, we are discussing this matter for us to know that it is a trial for man. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Amalan here in this context is to say that, okay, yes, we have to be in love. To be in love is natural. To be in love is halal. To be in love is human. To be in love is commonsensical because the hormones are in us. But as Muslims, how do we fall in love? How do we be in love? How do we go in love? How do we go for love? How do we sustain love? That is the line of the dividing line. Because every step, everything we do counts in our worship towards Allah, our Creator. Some, the venture of their love will be what will debar them at the midst of Allah Malakiyama. Now, when you look at this love saga, you realize that women suffers more. They suffer more in love because when any error is made in communicating the love, she loses and suffers more because only them can be impregnated. And of course, a man can always move on. There's nothing to keep the man back. Only her also, in the event that, so to say, she is impregnated on and she's not prepared for it. Some will, in the cost to even try to abort, may lose their life. That is another case. They suffer because when love is treated now as a magnet. Thirdly, women at times too can suffer from love, whereby when the society gets to know that that's what they are doing, that also can make them lose their dignity. And today you see the extent we have gone that women now see sex, as a kind of profession. The so-called slave queens, the sex hawkers, and so on and so forth. They don't see anything wrong. They call it hookups because they make money from it. Instead of working in an office, they'll pay them just 50,000, 100,000. Here they are, they just move on, and in a weekend, just few outings, they are making millions. So they just feel that why should I body myself with marriage? Why should I body myself with so-called barriers or boundaries? No, that is what we are seeing today. Is a logjam, is a loss of value. The home has failed, has disconnected, has disintegrated, that people don't value those things again. So women suffer more when love is not properly coordinated. Two, when one goes into love unprepared, not following the right guidelines, then one can end up making a wrong choice. A man may end up with the wrong person. So with a woman, if they have come together by one thing or the other, because the circumstance of their coming together has no spiritual, basis. They just saw themselves, the enigmatic mystery of love brought them together. They just finish, move on, and they move on like that, enjoying themselves. They feel, let's progress, because the magnet is working in them, the filings are available. So at the long run, they are not actually spiritually compatible. So they just come together, and at the long run, you realize that the marriage will not work or pay them, or the woman will suffer more in the marriage because the man has the chance to feel that this woman, I have seen another new girl outside, let me drop this very one. Number three, when love is not planned for, one will suffer unwarranted and unsolicited servicing. That is what will happen. So those just bump into love, they will go through what you call unwarranted and unsolicited servicing. What do we mean here? It's the case that you have lesser time for serious things that can make you progress in life. You have lesser time for your ibadah because you always be busy calling the person, calling yourself, whether you're under the tree, under the mountain, by the seaside, in the class, in the corner, at the eye. You just be calling yourself, disturbing yourself. You have times you have to spend money, you have to spend your time, you have to take some risk, you have to hide, you have to do the hide and seek. Then that becomes unsolicited. Fourth point is that when you don't plan going to love, you suffer a disrupted plan. Your plan becomes disrupted, maybe your school, maybe your business, maybe your travel, maybe your parental care. If you go into love without proper plan, you realize that you may jeopardize your bright future to become a great person or icon. The other point is that when people jump into love that now translates or becomes marriage or whatever, because these days when you say love, we can hardly dissociate it from sex or going to bed. And most people at times they end up having unplanned family. You have baby mothers or baby fathers. And some, when they go into love that is not planned, they may end up definitely, of course, they will end up disobeying their parents because their parents will have guided them, warned them, don't do that. They will still go ahead, even when they are caught. They will be so smart that the parents may not even be able to know what they are into. And as a Muslim, if your parents, because issue of love or that will later become marriage, your parents have to be in the know from the beginning. You can't go ahead. You've got somebody from nowhere, from the blues. You have settled everything. You now just come home that mom, you want or dad. So they can't just put their blessings because they are the one that will determine whether you can go on or do. Is your choice to love the person, to like the person, but they have the seal that it should stay. But now the person who had the seal was not carried along from the word go. And you want the person to seal it again. Some girls that have problem with that when the father will not say no, and that will not create problem for the girl, and so on and so forth. So the parent disobedience comes also when people go into love that's not planned. Beside that, we call having people living above their resources because a level. A man at times may be so deceptive, lying to a girl, and the girl can be a dig gold digger too. So as the man will just well, later we'll read some review of some paragraphs in a book. You see that they say when love enters the body, the brain run comes. When love arrives, brain disappears because the man will no more think normally again. And so doing, he can become indebted, getting money here, buying this and there, and at the long run, he can't live within his resources. Then some may suffer regrettable chances in the case that, for example, a boy just decides that I'm no more doing. That girl was what they call jilted, broken heart, so to say. That's how they describe it. They say she's broken at heart, and even in secondary school, you see this happening. So in that case now is because, and some people go to depression. Even some committing suicide. We have had cases of a particular boy whose girlfriend said she was no more doing, committed suicide, tied himself up to the ceiling, and he died. How do you explain that? Is that love or craziness or what? That's what it can be as serious as that. People go into depression because a man has said he's no more marry him or the girl's not marrying her again. And of course, going into love that is not planned can break family. A man who has a a family already, going to such relationship, it may end up breaking his own established family. When the wife gets to know and they are not comfortable with it, it can end up not making the family to be balanced. Then what do you do? There are ways of things one has to do, which of course we may mention later, inshallah. Now, having discussed what may happen when we're going to love without plan like that, let's quickly consider some kind of explanation of some pages or paragraphs on the book Blinding Realities, Lasting Possibilities by our brother Rewanullah Bimbola. In this very book, the author explains that he was trying to quote a scholar that when love is around, don't trust your reason. That's the heading. It now says that your brain, quoting an author, your brain is the most outstanding organ in your body. It works every day, 24/7. 365 days from the day you are born until you fall in love. You get the point there. So when you fall in love now, it starts to function appropriately. Now, that was as it was quoting Sophia Monroe in the book Afflicted. Now, this is what he said about that very one. It now goes further that the heart betrays its owner when it sleeps in love, for love alters human psychology. When love enters your life, you won't be yourself again in unimaginable ways. Love consumes the heart like fire does the dry wood. As soon as love happens to you, reason goes on hold. And when love is accompanied by lust, it is sure to cross all bounds. Love and lust impair judgment and cripple reasoning. At its peak, love does not stop at anything to prove its worth. Perhaps it was why ancient Arab described it as a deadly disease. That is how he tried to explain the issue of love, which of course some of us may have seen or experienced or heard as regards happened to our summary, my dear brothers and sisters in the day. The issue of love, we as Muslims must know that there are ways to navigate around it because it's natural, it's even divine to be in love. Because if Allah Himself is al-Wadud, one who loves, He created Adam and Hawa, they were in love. So Islam is not against being in love, but the point we are making is that as Muslims, whatever we are doing should be part of our ibadah. This is very, very basic. So what do we now do? In case one, you have been hooked up, magnetized by love. Somebody has pinned you down and his body is in your brain already that you don't know what to do. That is one. Or your heart is beating for somebody who has not even seen your side and is affecting you seriously. You are crying. You cannot even sleep. You cannot even eat at times. You will fail your exams. It's a possibility. Or you've been in a love that is a faulty love, is wrong because it's haram way, and you feel you're enjoying it, and you can't just come out of it because you have gone very far. As Muslims, there's a provision in the Quran where Allah says that kulli ibadi alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim la taqnatu min rahmatillah. Once one has not died, there's room for change. So what do? My advice one is that when you fall in such situations, then when you are pulled, for those who have not fallen, when you are pulled by the magnet of love or you are attracted by it, ask yourself questions. That's the first thing you have to do. Ask questions. Question one is that, how do I get here? This girl that is bothering my life, that is just disturbing my life. I'm going for Salat, I'm thinking about her. I finished Nafla, is her. Even fasting, I'm thinking her. I'm doing iftar, she's my iftar. I want to do tahajjud, she's my qiyamul. And it has got to that level. You need to ask, how do I get here that magnet has taken over your life? Second thing there is that what caused the pull? What actually attracted me? What was the thing that actually pulled me to the person? Was it because we always chat, we always talk together? Was it because I gave her things? Was it because we're in the same class? Is it because we travel together? We're in the same club, the same union? Is it because I always see her? Is it because I check her pics on her page on her Instagram or her Facebook? That will make you to have become a kind of a filing for her. Then you must know what caused the pull. Now, what are my wish friend? Your heart now we have its own definition of that love. This girl I've seen, I want her to be my wife. It's a wish friend. And I add this girl at least to have just a friend or a companion to cool off is a wish friend. So what your mind now says will now guide where you are. What do you now do next? You ask the next question. Are you ready for a serious relationship? That question will bail you out. You see a fine Jamila by her name, and you are equally Jalil, Jalil, Jalila, or you are Jamil, Jamila and Jamila, Jalila and Jalila, fine. So you ask yourself, am I ready for serious relationship? So if your response is no, then just make a U-turn. But the U-turn will not be easy because we are talking about magnet and filing. Filings are thoughts, they are Lilliputians when it comes to power of magnets. Once magnet attracts you, filing can't run away easily. That's where the danger is. So what do we do next in that situation that you find yourself? You now consult for guidance. Now you have been hooked, you have been trapped. You need to seek guidance for matured, from counselors, for mentors who will now sit you down, who will now take you to the journey of rescue operation, because you have to be rescued. May not be so easy. Then also, if you have somebody on the background trying to rescue you, then you have to have the love saga will not just leave you alone. You want to start thinking of what you can do to keep it on. And in a case, even the other person is equally highly interested, then it can lead to anything that you can't even predict. Even some, they'll say it's like spell, that what will happen to you, you don't need to plan it. Especially if you have been in a glimpse, that is on one side. Then, generally, don't be a dangerous magnet. Once you know your nature, you're a very fine guy. You are cute, you are fine, you are handsome, mashallah. You are mashallah sister too. Everything is just mashallah. So if you know Allah has given you everything that a man want to see or a woman want to see in you, is a fitna, is a trial. Is for you now to put in place mechanism to make people not to become attracted to you. You know the way Allah creates you, every man must come for you. Some are like that. Or some men, every lady will want to be crumble over him. It's for you to put in place mechanism. Maybe you avoid interacting with them, avoid, you be careful the way you dress, be careful where you go. It's by so doing, you are helping yourself. Because the issue of this love stuff, there are times you can start well and you may not end well. Because you can't just, we have said at times, when loves come, sense could be lost at times. So that is one aspect. Don't be a dangerous magnet. Two, you have to define your love from start. When you see a sister, if you're not ready for marriage, it will make you not to focus on the person. But when your mind is not settled, you are suffering from spiritual deficit. You just see every woman, even a mad woman passing by you, you start to think of something else. Most cases, when people talk of this love stuff, they are thinking of sex. And like I mentioned earlier, women are the victims because the man can go to any length to get the latest of love tools, to get the latest of whatever, and sing them to your ears. And when you give your ears, you will give your heart. When you give your heart for a woman, it's not easy to go back. And a man, by nature of a man, he can die for you now. When he sees something better tomorrow, he can decide to say bye bye without even preparing you ahead. So you have to be very careful of that. So when you define the start of your love, or at times you have faltered, you have made initial error, you must quickly try to call yourself back from that very error. The third point is that let Islamic principles guide you. If you stand by that, wallahi, you see through the temptations, but you'll be a bit safe. Islam has told you, Islam, don't misexecution of the person. You try to stay by them, it's going to help you a lot, because today the tendency to fall is very high, because that's what we watch, that's what we hear in the music is romance, in the movie is romance, in the street is a physical romance with what people are wearing. When you ask people on this publicly these days, what again do you expect a man to do? So the brains are triggered, the boosters are everywhere. So you need serious what? Sticking to Islamic principles. Besides that, again, you need powerful prayer. I say powerful prayer. That ardent one that you just have to talk into, oh Allah, please save me. Those prayers you have to say, this prayer for Tohara, for decency, Allahumma, nafsi taqwa, wa zakiya, prayers like that, you say them a lot. And on a final note, my dear sisters, brothers, in the event that you've made a mistake or you are falling, you must open up on time. Because this love issue is taking dimension these days. There are some girls at times who never had the opportunity, by the virtue of the background of they are coming from. The mom, mashallah, the father, mashallah, they are even Islamic scholars, yes, fine. Or the school they attended, fine. The environment they grew up, fine. But now, when they find themselves in different environment, and they see other girls, other boys, what they are doing, everybody's moving, a girl beside them, they are touching each other, they are slapping themselves, they are pecking themselves, they are sitting on their laps. This happens almost in most environments. So somebody who wants to keep herself may become a prison of herself. And by so doing, some at times will be tempted that she will come what they can force themselves into a love relationship just to experience relief. That too, somebody has loved me, somebody has shown me love. That can be some people's experience. Some again, naivety, because they've never toasted them before. They never, a man has not called them, has just told them, oh, big baby, how are you? How you doing? Fine, you look cool, you look cute, you know me, I'm Shola Bola Tola, I'm sure from Toronto, this is and so, you can just lay my hands on you, just like that. And the girl just, she just be wow for the way, how did it just become so big that she just feel the talk and continue. No, Shaitan will tell you that is your opportunity. But when you understand, you are prayerful, you are careful of where you go, the kind of friends you have, those you are living with in your room, because at times mistake of your roommate can mar your chastity. Because what they discuss, what they will watch, what they will be talking about may trigger you, and you may not, and when you become captured, you can be worse than those who have been there for centuries. That's why this situation of love saga is a magnet that is a reality. Whereas we have filings, imagine more every day. We pray to Allah in His infinite mercy to assist us. Those of us who Allah has been guiding, we pray for more guidance. Those who have faltered, who have fallen one way or the other, may Allah rescue us and let us come back to the right way to live for Allah. Because this world, Allah says in the Quran that your love in Al Jannah, you can't just, because of this trivial world, forgo it. You have to sacrifice. The love of Akhirah matters than the love for this very world. We are going to die one day. We leave this very world. When we become old, where will the love go? Even when you go into the love and you become crippled with something, the lover say, I love you, I love you. You say, yeah, I love you. When you have a little problem, they find their level. And that's the reality of life. And it will last how many years? 2, 3, 4, 5 decades is gone. So please, let's be patient and Allah will protect all of us. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Inshallah, if you have comments, Allah khair. All right, if you have comments or questions, you can. All right.
Now, can we go?
You're welcome. Go ahead.
My own question is it's related to might not be related to the love saga in a more general love life of a person.
All
Okay,
right,
as
sir.
a single that is thinking about that marriage. Well, unfortunately, I attended a single seminar. Not so fortunately, but it sounds fortunately. As a normal Muslim brother, it's always in the intention that inshallah, you get married. But that single seminar actually opened my eyes to a lot of things. I was like, God, this is reality now. It seems somehow, and it's break art somehow, because you feel like it was much easier than what the reality actually entails. For example, the constraint of that financial sense. They were trying to bring in just, okay, for example, you want to get married, you need a house, you need how to take care of your wife and everything. So they bring an example of just the house alone. That's okay, averagely in this place, you will get house for probably this Lagos Shomolu. A bedroom will be about 1 million or above. I was like, God. And that's just on housing for a year. Not to talk of that multiple things. So how do you tell the person to deal with that, or what's is that the normal feeling that we just have to deal with? Because it feels somehow now. I like.
Halqah. You are speaking reality. So what we need to do here is parents have to come on board. That's what we are proposing. This situation our youths are facing, some youths need to settle down, get married. When we look at the financial, environment, the rent, other expenses, where that is located. So is an issue that the parents have to start thinking of, okay, our own time is, not like the time people are facing now. So how do we help our children? It's a model we can look at because we have to protect their morality. That is one angle. Two is communal, communal interaction. Nothing wrong in Islamic setting. People have right to some stipends for marital matters, which I think that one too is what we need to actually look into also. That okay, how do we, as a community, societies, organizations, how do we help ourselves financially to stabilize ourselves? Third one is employment issue. So these days the jobs, the payments are so, so kind of paltry that somebody cannot even talk of transportation from the job than talking of settling down. So what we are seeing that the immorality is increasing because youths who will have not fallen are falling because they cannot just cope financially. I think is a fundamental point you have raised. Even this day too, the ladies are not just ready to just go with anybody. They are not just ready. Only those who have the little amount, okay, I'll manage. Management appears to have people in a way kind of not ready for anybody. So that is another angle there. So which I think we just need to be prayerful and Allah will help all of us, but we must not lose hope. We must not lose hope. Also, that's why as youth today, the idea has been coming, okay, let us look for other things we can do to make ends meet. And at times, one should be consider the environment that one will stay, because this day everybody just crossing Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and long run we can't cope there. We can start to change environment, and that's Because the government has not helped in that direction by making everything just for. So I think there are some questions in the chat box.
Dr. Toiba has a question. You can go ahead.
All right, good.
Assalamu alaikum
Now go ahead.
I want to say Jazakumullah khairan for the lecture.
One, two.
I have a question into two sections.
Okay.
Number one, as a parent of a teenager, that you notice that your teenage girl has started the issue of maybe having relationship with mates in the class. Maybe they are calling themselves on phone, they are sending themselves messages and the like, and you came to notice this. Now, what advice can you give such parents to help this teenage girl not to go astray? Because the method the parents used was to cane the child, to beat and let her see why, let her, so that she will not continue. But we notice that this girl, she's such a secretive child that doesn't want to disclose what happened to parents. So maybe telling our colleague, they're not advised, beating will not solve the problem. Why not call him, call her, talk to her, which you have been doing before. So is there any other better way to counsel such a girl who you think or you feel that she's secretive, that it's only God's mercy that made you know that she's maybe making calls or chatting boy in the class? That is number one question. Then number two, is it advisable for such a parent to go to the school, inform the school authority, to invite the parents of the boy, probably when they meet and say, this is what I noticed in my girl. Maybe sound a warning to the boy and tell the parents that they will also be at a lookout for what their boy is doing. So that is my question.
So, may Allah assist us. These are quality practical questions we are facing today too. On the first one, with regards to the girl, these days there are no one way to solving our problems. And in parenting these days, we must start very early, very early. So Allah will try people, but we'll do our own first. We'll do our own first. If a general said that I will not follow the rule, it's different. That's like in the Quran that when Noah's son said that Sa'awi kola Sa'awi ila jabali yasimuni min al-ma. When he said that I will go my way, that parents will have done their own. So I think when we start very early to go a long way. Number two is that the girls these days we need to be spotting them very early. Some girls could be quiet at home. They could be so dangerous that you even know this is I guess it's a nice girl, but something be happening that one may not be aware. That's why the issue of prayer equally comes on. When one is prayerful and one is not consuming haram, Allah has a way of assisting us on such children. But in case a girl has made some advances, is that because this is what they see every day in school, they talk about it. Friends are talking of girlfriend, boyfriend, what the boy give to them, the wristwatch she bought for them, the son is bought, all those things are talking them in class, and she's hearing those things. And how will call it be turning on? So that is the danger they face. That's why we must be careful what kind of schools or friends or where they go. Now, with that one observe, then as parents, one will not lose hope. One will say be calling her, talking to her, understanding her. So with prayers, and at times one can try to know there's another person she so much love in the society, or so those she liaise with. One can do a proxy interaction with her, those who will equally help her. Then another one is that her age mates too, who are a bit decent, who could engage her to know what is into. They could probably of assistance, but it's a very tasking thing to do. But hope is to not be lost because Allah can help somebody at all time. In the case of going to school, it's a good idea, but where school, because school and home should work together. That used to be the old the good practice. So in a case that happens like that, if one can even see the parent of the child, if you had the mom, because the father may not just take it so easy like that, but the mom of the child, if one can locate and try to know one-on-one, like parents helping our children, that's it. That was observe. So you want to know what some parents that handle their children So if you want to inform the school, there's nothing can do it in a way that it won't because this thing they are going through is part of the norm. What they are facing is a challenge for them. So we can't just castigate and condemn them. The school has to put in place a mechanism, not just beating, a mechanism to let them see reason why this is not good. What can you do? What caused it? Somebody to be his friend, and so on and so forth. So I don't say anything wrong informing the school. Then, since it's the school that they met each other, you may not even know the parents is on schools, but so there are so many. But the school can now link the parents and let them know what has happened. Even at some schools, you go extra mile to actually know what is actually happening, because the relationship is started even from the school environment. When the school is not actually observant, or there are some window periods that school does not even know, and that can cause that one. So I think may Allah just assist and get us right. Jazakumullah khairah. Then how can a divorcee or widow forget and move on? May Allah assist us. When somebody becomes a widow, it's a different ball game. When you're a divorcee, it's another ball game. As for divorcee, husband may still be alive. As for the widow, husband is no more alive. The psychology of disconnection is different. But as Muslims, the concept is that a woman should not be alone without having a husband, somebody she will be under. At times even be rich. You need a man around you psychologically if you have the right person. Because not about you, because somebody has been in a relationship before, you be having your man skin to skin, things like that. But now it's no more. The first year, second year, third year, some will say, I want to be alone. Maybe some they have a bad experience in the first time. Maybe, for example, the first husband maybe is buoyant in ourselves, but now she could not get that kind of again now may be difficult. But as a Muslim, when we understand our Islam, this issue is a communal issue. We can just look away. This person who can, suit, who is best to go to this person. Because in some cases, they take advantage of them. There are so many just this person has no husband, they will promise some things, help in a way to just lure them, enjoy them, and drop them. That's what we have to prevent. So when you are a widow or a divorcee, at times you have children, you have to move on. Though these the men too these days, they start to consider, is the woman, how many children, is the one, is it two, how will I go, who will sponsor this and that. That can always be resolved and discussed. But it's always good for a woman to have a man. I know there's a kind of worship in Islam and ibadah. At least in our Islamic history, we have our women when who were widows, who were divorcee, and they remarried, and that's our culture as far as Muslim is concerned. You can't just remain alone and not having a husband. Allahu Alam. Someone that's not religious, so we don't drag each other down. Okay, someone that's, if I get the question right, how do I explain the questions now? Okay, as someone who just started to know Islam truly 2 years ago, a born Muslim though, I'm conflicted with the choice of a partner I should want for myself. I try my best to practice the Sunnah, but I still don't think I will be able to be with a mashallah brother, do true and true. And now I'm stuck on whoever is best for me. I don't want someone that is dogmatic and extreme, and at the same time, I do not want someone that's not religious, so we don't drag each other down. May Allah assist us, my sister. The main thing is that the level of your Islam you have, Islam is an ocean. Everybody has the one Allah that will suit the person. So that's why I will always advise that. I believe in communal living. That somebody you must just not be in isolation. So when you are not in isolation, you have some brothers or sisters around you, and you discuss your matters with them. Yes, some feel that my level of Islam, I want to be this way. Then you have somebody of that level too. But the issue of marriage, who will I marry? Who will I not marry? Prayer works a lot, and guidance or counseling, because you can't tell. Even the time the mashallah brother maybe something else. The one we don't even see will be good at that can become good. So it's a matter of proper counseling, and for one to just show that okay, you know what you want. They won't force anybody on somebody, but at times you're not able to see the person you want yourself. Another person have to assist you in looking for the person. That's why the issue of counseling, coming out, whatever comes to play. And with that very one, if Allah assists with prayers, Allah can help one. So it's a matter of when the person is God's, one can discuss what to do about that. Allah Alam. Maybe we take 2 more questions because of our time. I've been educating the school leavers, students regarding boyfriend and girlfriend for quite a while, but she still feels the only way they can know each other better is through boyfriend and girlfriend. When asked if she's truly ready to marry, she says no, but has it in her mind. How does one educate her about khitbah and halal? So the issue is the environmental influence is here. And the issue of girlfriend they require a lot of some level of logic, appeals, and expositions. But some of them at times are deceived by what they see, and some of them may not be so lucky that a man will not take advantage of them. Some may be able to be saved out of everything, maybe one or so may be saved from falling victim, but mostly it's not just easy in this modern time we are living, boyfriend, girlfriend, and nothing will happen. Is to the worst case could be maybe they commit they go into romance. So it's not advisable. So we just need to appeal, give some scenarios, some examples. Those who probably have some people who have experienced such in the environment. One can bring them on board to discuss with her. I think with continuous interactions, because someone can take time for they could see reason. And then one has engaged not just the girl alone. You have to find a way to engage the boy too through some other means, put some other things in place to make them see reason. So with time, Allah can guide them to reason. Inshallah, may Allah assist us. The last question for tonight, inshallah, we have to bear with us because of our time. As a Muslim, who is a practicing Muslim and is ready for nikah, but yet to see Sunni brother, I was thinking maybe it's where she decided due to the fact that people see her as an extremist. What can she do? So this one too, like the earlier questions who asked too, prayer to Allah, Allah will guide, because these days we have many sisters ready for marriage, many brothers not ready, some brothers ready for marriage, finances is affecting them. Many brothers not ready for marriage because they feel they need to settle down with some other financial whatever. That's the problem we are having. So in a case where we live, that's why Islam is a religion of ummah, community. So issues like these, I think some people can say it can be so painful that somebody wants to marry now. She has not been committing zina. Imagine a girl who kept herself almost maybe 20 years, 25 years. She did not commit zina. She did not do all those evils other girls are doing. And now she feels it's the time I need somebody in my life. And she could not, it could be so painful, it could make them to be crying. But we have a community of brothers and sisters where we are together. Things like this, we can resolve it to a level, because people they just prefer to do the evil. You don't want to do the evil. It's a serious case that what we'll advise is that one should not lose hope. One should be prayerful. Then those who feel could understand you, you can discuss with them. I pray to Allah in His infinite mercy to get us right. And okay, this one came in. I was the one that asked about not knowing who or to settle for. I was asked to message. Okay, I was the one who that asked about who is the practicing. Okay, I think that one has been answered. Jazakumullah khair. We want to thank everybody for coming tonight.
A brother has been raising his hand since. Brother Yusuf Abiodun, ask a question.
Okay, let's ask the question, please, so we can run off. Go ahead, please. Brother Ibrahim?
Yusuf Abiodun.
Okay, Yusuf Abiodun, okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
All right, so welcome.
No, I'm very sorry. Please, like some of us, especially the sisters that are doing some online, it can be Tafi, it can be Arabic. Like some was, there was a case that a sisters that it was through infatuation, he had he starts online, and that is to start is from one other state. Then the stars said that he wanted to come and see her, but it's fortunately for her, he just told her teacher that so something want to happen. Then the teacher was now say that those people should come and meet her at home so that they will now discuss. Then when they were now discussed, it was later that those people that they came, it was online ustaz, so they came, they said they want to marry that sister. But fortunately, the brother and the sister, they interrogated them and asked different questions. Then later, after some days, they were now saying that they don't want to marry her again. that is let her go. But what I'm trying to say is that we have some of us that online. How do we cope that? That somebody that is having teacher online, but it was now attached to that person. Is it due to maybe the knowledge is gaining or some other things? How do we cope that? Because that thing is even very rampant in our campus today.
Allah assist us. The issue is in two ways. Naturally, when a man is engaging a woman continuously, there's a tendency for that very closeness to be there. And cleaning the mind from indecent relationship is a task for tazkiyah. So, but that's why these days one has to be very careful, because you can't even tell what a man has up sleeves. So, what we only advise is that our sisters should be very careful, because some could be good, some could be bad. When it comes to issues, even physical world, it's even another thing entirely. But that's the online stuff. This is the best. No matter, somebody can be the best Jude or Hafiz. We have those who are like that, and what they are doing is what those who are not even Muslims doing at times. So our sisters should just be careful. If he does it online, whatever now, because people like that will start with some level of private chatting, private talk, private call, unnecessary care, trying to get close and the likes. And sisters have a very cool mind, soft mind. They want to learn more. So they may just feel that, they've been encouraging them, and before do something else. So our sisters just be firm. And when it comes to society, you just not take a chance. The class should be class, and another thing you should not accommodate at all. Because when it's online, you don't know the person, you don't know where it's coming from. That's the danger. So Mr. Job is so guided with that. So she's so lucky, I'm fortunate, the best person. At the long run, they will suffer it, because this person you don't know his behavior, you don't know his roots. So it can be so dangerous at times. We go ahead with such a person, because some don't just want to change that. No, they are going ahead, and some have tried it and they are regretting it. So it's a very death situations that it will be from the side of the female or from the male too. At times, the female, when you are learning online, you should be careful of how you ask questions, how you engage them. You start is by Maghrib, you call Usa, or 10 a.m. you call 10 p.m. you call Usa, 7 you call Usa, you are greeting Usa just to greet you. No. It's the science is trying to pass wrong message, and that can lead to other things. You have to be very careful, be disciplined when you're in the online class, and that online becomes an option. If you can avoid just single online class for a female is better, because since we are seeing the repercussions as happening today. So may Allah assist us and guys, jazakumullah khairan. So I think other questions we may have to suspend for tonight. Jazakumullah khair, barakallahu fi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.